welcome to Cooking with Bacon. My name is Bacon, and tonight I'm going to be showing you two different recipes. I'm going to be making some smashed potatoes, crispy ones, and some French's onion chicken. And some of the things that you're going to need: a big pot, some little ones potatoes, some butter, and I know this isn't like the real thing for bacon, but for me this is what I prefer whenever I'm eating these specifically. Usually I would do the real thing, but I like these. It just gives a little bit of crisp to it. Some sour cream if you like to go on your potatoes. I prefer the Mexican style shredded cheese to go over the top of it. And we're going to be doing a little bit of Mrs. Dash seasoning. And then for their chicken, we're going to be using some Montreal chicken seasoning, the French's or crispy French onions, and some honey mustard dressing. You could use regular honey mustard. I just prefer the dressing. And you will also need 2 bags to be able to mix everything up into. I also will be bringing some chicken in here in a little bit, but for right now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is get my pot filled up with some water, get it on the stove, and bring it to a boil. And once I do that, I will add my little ones potatoes to it, and I'll bring you back for whenever I'm doing that. Okay, so I got the pot of water on, and I'm waiting for it to start boiling. And what I'm doing here is I'm just getting prepped up and ready for whenever the potatoes are done. So I need about 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to take that, put that in there, and take some Mrs. Dash. And I'm going to put, I would say, about 2, maybe 2.5 tablespoons of seasoning in here. And what that's going to do is once it's done melting, I'm going to put it in one of these bags. And whenever the potatoes get done, you need to let them sit for about 5 minutes in the colander or strainer and let them dry. And then I'm going to put those in here with the melted butter and seasoning, and I'm going to mix it all up. And then from there, I'll transfer it onto one of my cooking trays. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be back with you guys. Okay, so my butter is melted and my seasoning is all in there. Everything is prepped for that. Now what we're gonna do is take one of the bags, and because I'm making about 2 pounds of chicken, I'm just gonna use the whole thing of this. So I'm going to let some of the air out, seal it up, and basically I'm just going to crush up the French's onions as much as I can, because instead of using something like a shake and bake or panko bread seasoning, this, or breadcrumbs, this is what we're going to have as our crust. And the honey mustard is what we're going to be using as a binder. And just for a little bit of seasoning, the Montreal chicken seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all crushed up, and I will be back here. Okay, so my water is almost boiling. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I did. So I crushed all that down into a fine powder. And now I'm going to add a little bit of this Montreal chicken seasoning. I would say probably about 2 tablespoons or so. Okay, so when that's done, just take it, shake it all up, put the seasonings all throughout the bag. Alright, now that is ready to go. So it also looks like my water is now boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and take my potatoes and let them get into the water, start softening up. So once that is done, I will bring you back. Okay, so now that we're back, what I'm going to do is open up my 2 packages of chicken. Each one of these is roughly about a pound. We weigh it out ourselves and vacuum seal it whenever we find good deals on chicken. So I'm going to open these up, and then I'm going to get some paper towels, dry them off some, and then I will take the honey mustard from there and get that started. And I'll show you how we go about doing that whenever okay, so I got my chicken all dried off. Now I'm just gonna add some honey mustard onto it. This will act as my binder. You could also use egg if you don't like honey mustard as a binder. Just scramble up an egg or two and throw it in here and just mix your chicken up inside of it. So try and get a third coating. You don't want it to be too wet, so I put a ton of mustard on there. Like that. Everything has a little bit of mustard on it. So now, let me get that Ziploc bag. So this is why I like Ziploc bags, because I could just throw all my chicken down in here, and then I could take off my glove, shake up the chicken, and then I'll be able to pull it out of there and then lay it on the tray that I have just off camera, which you guys will see here in just a moment. I try not to touch the seal on the bag because it just makes it harder to seal it. I highly recommend IKEA Ziploc bags. They're very stout. Okay. Just roll it around. Shake it up a little bit. Try and get that coating on the inside of everything. Whenever I take the chicken out and lay it down, if there's any openings or areas that I miss, usually there's some crumbs down at the bottom that I could take and just sprinkle over top of it. And I also have my oven set to 400 degrees, which will work for both the chicken, which will take about, I usually start checking it around 10 minutes because I cut these into tenders. But it also works for the potatoes. So it's a pretty easy meal to do together, especially if you don't have a double oven, but it works. So that's done. Now, I'll put a little bit of oil down, just so that the chicken doesn't stick and that falls off the binder. If you want as much of that crispiness as you keep on. My potatoes are starting to float around a little bit, so they're probably just about done. But see how it's got a nice even coating of breading all over it? That's what you're looking for. So I'll lay these out and try and make them not touch. And if it doesn't work lengthwise like this, I'll turn the chicken and try it the other way. Just go ahead and keep all this chicken laid out as best as we can. And if we can't get it all on here without it touching, it's okay if it touches a little bit. You want to try to keep it from touching because that's what will make the edges more crispy. That's the nice thing about chicken too, it's easy to move it around and give yourself a little bit of extra room if you need it. We've got just about all the chicken on here we can get. Just because that's pretty much all of it. Okay, so now got all the chicken laid out. Tried to space it out as best as we could so that it's not laying on top of each other, because that could make it cook unevenly too if it's too much on top of each other. So now what I like to do is take and put a little bit of the crumbly bits that were left, just lay it out over top of the chicken. All right, so this is prepped and ready. So now what I'm going to do, because the potatoes are almost done, I'm going to go ahead and take these and put them in the oven and get that ready to cook. So I'll show you here.